Hello, everyone. Hola, mundo. Welcome to Voces Poderosas 2025, where Latino brilliance takes center stage. Hi, I'm Jackie Bouvier, honored to continue this movement celebrating the nation's most powerful voices, shaping culture, shaping business and future. Voces Poderosas is a transformative shortcast spotlighting pioneers and catalysts whose wisdom fuels success and personal empowerment. More than a podcast in shortcast form, it's a national stage honoring Latino excellence and amplifying the voices that move markets, shape culture, and define our time. And now, joining me today is Lupita Colmenero, COO of Latina Style Inc., an award-winning executive, philanthropist, and founder of Parents Step Ahead, empowering thousands of families with education, resources, and opportunity. I want to give you a warm welcome to Voces Poderosas 2025. Hola, Lupita.
Hola, my dear Jackie. What a pleasure to join you in your program. Thank you so much for thinking of me for this invitation. I'm so excited.
I'm excited to have you, and I love Latina Style. I love you, your husband, everything you do. And having you here in Colorado not too long ago was just phenomenal. It was amazing. What you guys have going on is amazing, and it's also a great movement for Latinas. I'd like to ask you a little bit about your journey. I'd love for you to share your story, your background. How did you get to where you are today? What was that path that shaped who you are? Why don't you open that up for us so that we can get to know you better?
No, absolutely, Jackie. Thank you. And again, I apologize for my voice. There is something going on in the air, and I really hope that this is going to be okay. Um, it's quite really a long story, but I'm gonna try to make it short and just give you, the main points of really how is it that you and I are here, in this wonderful conversation. It all started about 42 years ago, Jackie. I am originally from Mexico, Guanajuato, and I thought that this was going to be a short visit, 6 months, the most. That was my friend time, and I came without going into the details. I came looking for a missing brother that has been missing for 44 years, and I thought, at that point, I just have graduated from college. I have a new job, a new position, being almost a girl, still a very young woman. But I thought that giving myself those 6 months and try to do my best to find out the whereabouts of my brother, it was going to close in a way a chapter, and a very happy chapter. Who wouldn't know that 44 years, 42 years later, we will hear and still, that chapter is still open because we haven't heard from my brother. And so in the search for him, it took me to launch a newspaper, because I said, if he the opportunities to find out about what happened with my brother, the resources available, if they're not there for me to utilize them, then they are not there for a lot of people. And what will be the way? And it was to create a medium to inform, to bring together our community. And obviously, this was when I decided that me going back to Mexico, it was not going to happen. And then, I got married, I created a family, and it was basically what you are doing. What do we do to make this situation that we were handed over without asking for it better, and at the same time better for us, for our families, and at the same time better for others, in our community. So it was the creation of the newspaper. With that, when I became a mother, I noticed, Jackie, that if we don't get involved in our children's educational life, we are missing a lot. And they are missing a lot. And so then Parents Step Ahead was created. And Parents Step Ahead was created to celebrate the 20th anniversary of El Hispano News, which was the paper that I created. And with that, I mean, the reception was incredible, working with the schools, working with community organizations, national organizations, all of them united to be one voice. And that is parental involvement in the schools is critical. And then by the fall, Latina Style. I met Robert. But when I met Robert, I was already divorced from the father of my kids. And again, it's a long story, trying to make it short. Robert is a wonderful person as well with his own story, a lot of similarities in our story. But then we came together with Latina Style, basically, continuing the mission and the vision of his late wife, Ana Maria, and coming together not just as partners, but also as husband and wife. And we kept creating this, and we also launched, or I launched before actually that, real estate company, commercial and residential. And it was a perfect marriage in business and in the personal life. And that's where we are.
What a great story. That's wonderful. I mean, I'm so sad that it's still an ongoing search, but I think that sometimes, there's that silver lining where amazing things happen that, push us to that, getting great things coming out of what talents we have inside. It's what a powerful story and what a great way to bring you to such a positive time in your life and with your husband. So thanks for sharing that. I wonder, looking at the current social and professional climate, what opportunities and challenges have you seen or are you seeing for Latino professionals right now, given your background and what you've encountered, even the traveling that you do?
Jackie, I doing the work that we do and the work that I did with the newspaper and now with Latina Style and now with the foundation with Parents Step Ahead, I come to make this realization, the opportunities are there. And it is just up to us how much we want to work, how much we want to invest of ourselves in order to grab those opportunities to utilize the resources that are available. After 40 years, quite honestly, ever since I stepped foot in this country, I learned to love this country. I love to learn. It is not perfect. And probably, it is far away from perfect. But my profession, my work has taken me to travel a lot around the world. And I can say with certainty that it's still the best country in the world. It is not perfect. And so all the opportunities that are there, we just need to be ready. We need to prepare ourselves. We need to prepare our kids to learn how to take advantage of those opportunities. And so when it comes to, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, or I wish I could, we spend a lot of time just wishing and not working on it. Because again, there are a lot of people like you, like me, you're doing amazing things, Jackie. Being inspired and putting this program together because of a conversation with your daughter and she wanted to be more involved in your culture and you are doing this to bring, that says a lot about who you are. You are a go-getter, and that's the message that I would like to share with everybody. If you want something, if you really want something, if you really want to make a difference, work hard, not just hard, work smart, be smart and making sure that what you wanted to achieve is what you're going to have, not just for you, but for your children, for your family, for your community.
That's beautiful. I agree with that. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling me that. It's a powerful accolade, and I think it's one that aligns right with a lot of our purpose in life, which is our children. So I commend you and I admire what you're doing, and I think it's powerful. Thank you. What bold moves or personal community do you believe will help Latinos become the leader force that this country needs, right? This great country needs.
Well, there is a lot of facts. And what I like to always say is that the numbers don't lie. We can talk a lot and say a lot of things, all the things that we like to hear or say. But when it comes to numbers, Jackie, it's a different picture. It is well known, for example, that Latinas are the fastest group of business owners. We are creating business left and right, and we are emulating, what others are doing, what success it is. And it is also a fact, that if the Latino community in this country were a country on its own, we will be the fifth largest economy in the world. And so that says a lot about the contributions that we are bringing to this country. And everywhere, in every field that you see it, there are a lot of Latinos, Latinas doing amazing, extraordinary things. And I think that says a lot, that speaks volumes about who we are and what we give, not only what we take, but what we are giving to this country. And that should be an amazing example for others, that also wanted to achieve things. And my advice to that will be, stop building barriers for yourself, start creating more variants. They are already enough, but I think the worst ones are the one that we impose on ourselves and our mind, and sometimes, we hesitate on moving the needle on the things that we wanted to achieve. If you want to create a business, come and talk to Jackie Bouvier, come and talk to the people, your leadership in your city, who they are. Take the time to get to know them. Go and introduce yourself and learn from them, not just for their achievements, but also for their failures, right? Because those are the big lessons that we need to keep in mind and avoid, right? If we wanted to do something greater. So, again, I don't think there is another country, and I'm not saying again that this is perfect, but for what I've seen and for what I experienced, there is no other country in the world that give us so much opportunities to basically be everything that we want to be, Jackie.
Yes, I agree. And thank you so much. Your journey, the way that you have come to where you are and how you've achieved what you have achieved resonates with so many other people out there. And, you'd be surprised how many people start off coming to a wonderful country, not knowing anyone for another purpose, and then end up building something powerful like you
That
have.
was
And
me.
so that is
That was
amazing. And
me.
so
I came here just, thinking, wishing, and with a huge desire to find out about what happened with my brother. And yes, I babysit, I clean houses. And you know what? The houses that I clean were the cleanest houses ever. And I take care of kids. I babysit children's, and I took care of them like they were my own. Back then, like they were my little brothers and sisters. And so when you put your heart and your mind and you do best and you put your principles at the forefront of who you are, Jackie, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And you start building roads, not just for yourself, but for others coming behind you. I am a passionate believer of that.
thank you. Thank you for that advice. Thank you for telling us that and sharing that with us. With me, it resonates, and thank you. And it's just been a true blessing to hear the story, your insights today, your powerful voice, and fearless commitment to elevating our community. It would just inspire so many people to their fullest potential. Thank you for making such a great difference in this country. Thank you for being a leader in the United States. Thank you for being on Voces Poderosas, Lupita.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for being such a role model, not just for me, but for a huge audience out there.